First, I would like to introduce the Seattle Storm, the women's professional basketball team president and CEO, Karen Bryant. She graduated from the University of Washington, spending more than 14 years in professional women's sports. She was recruited by the Seattle Supersonics in 1999. We used to have a Supersonics. To lead the organization efforts to secure a WNBA expansion team for the Pacific Northwest. Due to her exceptional efforts, she is responsible for turning this expansion team into a world champion organization. Known for her exceptional volunteerism, do you volunteer with PTA? Yay, she's PTA. Leadership, sportsmanship, and mentoring, she is truly a role model for women and girls of all ages. Please join me in welcoming our special guest, the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Seattle Storm, the women's professional basketball team, Karen Bryant.
What a great way to end a long week here on a sunny Friday. And I'm ready for the dance party after that Pandora mix we just heard. Anybody else? How many Storm fans in the house today? All right. Well, thanks for having me here today. It's a real treat. I really enjoyed the time I spent learning more about this organization. I must admit I should know more, but in the research I did, really impressed. And I'm supposed to talk about physical activity today, which I'll do. I only have 10 minutes, but I'm going to spend most of the time talking about you guys because in the time that I spent learning more about this organization, I really walked away really impressed and really excited to be here with you today. So first of all, special thanks to Catherine, Novella, and Megan for inviting us to be here today as part of this event. I've never been to one of these events. I've been to many events in my 17 years in this role, never been to a PTA event, although I do have a daughter who starts kindergarten in the fall.
Yay!
So I suspect, and if Leshai Elementary is here, I'm sure you're already recruiting me. I'm sure this will be the first of many PTA events, and should you ever want to invite me back here, I'd be thrilled to come. I hope you guys had a chance to meet my colleague Eric out there and had a chance to interact with him. All right, he did a good job clapping?
Yes.
All right, good. We got to sell a few tickets to this team that we run. We have a great opportunity to help you fundraise for your school, so we hope you'll take advantage of getting more information and meeting Eric and learning more about really how we can help you, but along the way help the Storm as well. As I said, I'd like to start off by really congratulating and thanking all of you for being here today and taking the time to participate in this convention. I know those of you who are parents or volunteers, those of you who are teachers, I know how much time you give to your classrooms and your schools. My sister is a 17-year teacher. She is currently a first grade teacher at Gatewood Elementary. So my family, our checkbooks, are very familiar with what it takes to be a teacher, particularly in the public schools. So kudos to all of you. And also for taking the time to be here today, and I know you have busy lives. As I said, I spent time on the site learning about not only the PTA, but the convention here today, and congratulations on 100 years, by the way. We are only 14 years old with the Storm, and it feels like an eternity. I'm not sure I'll be around to see the Storm at 100, but congratulations to your longevity. I wanted to learn more about the organization, both in coming here today to understand who I was speaking to and what kinds of things I should say. Also, as the head of the Storm, who has a significant interest in wanting to partner with you, but as I said earlier, as the mom of a young girl who's about to start kindergarten, I learned you're the largest volunteer organization in the state of Washington. That's impressive. So I am humbled and admire and respect the reach and influence that you have as a statewide organization. You have a vision that focuses on realizing the potential of children. As a civic leader, as a mother, in my humble opinion, there is no greater purpose in life, so kudos to you for that. As someone who has made a career out of the business of women, I learned that the PTA, of course, was founded by a group of women, and that the Washington chapter was founded a few years later by yet again another woman. And to the few good men in the audience, special congratulations. All kidding aside, we need you for women, for girls to realize their true potential. They need the support of men in their lives. And so on a more serious note, seriously, although I know you are significantly outnumbered today, thank you for being great men. Most importantly, probably the research was a chance for me to learn more about what you all do and some of the great programs you have as we explore opportunities between the Storm and Washington State PTA. I'm particularly interested in the leadership program and the essay contest, two programs that jumped out to me right away as things that we should be partnering with you guys on. We have amazing athletes who are great role models. They're great basketball players too, the best in the world. More importantly, given what you guys do, they're great role models, and they're great ambassadors for so many things good in life, particularly as women. And obviously the organization has a vast reach and platform. Sports has a special place in our culture, and I have spent my career trying to do everything I can to advocate for positive change in our community by effectively leveraging the platform of sports. It's one of the reasons I love my job. It's one of the reasons I have such a passion for what we do, is to try to utilize the power of sport and the power of professional athletes to make the Northwest a better place to live. I also loved learning about the organization's commitment to diversity and inclusion. Particularly enjoyed, Novella, reading your letter about diversity and inclusion. Values very much shared by the Storm that run through everything that we do, and modeled by the Storm much more so than most other professional sports leagues. And it's something we're extremely, extremely proud of, and something we have in common. And then in terms of today, the convention, I was impressed with the breadth of programming and learning. And again, back to my initial comment, congratulate all of you for taking the time to be here. What a great opportunity to network, to meet people, to vent, to commiserate, whatever the case may be, but to be with colleagues around what you're all passionate about. There is nothing greater than finding what you're passionate about and creating forums where you can become a better person, a better leader, a better friend, a better parent, and along the way making a difference in the lives of kids. And I know you're all here today and tomorrow, and spending a lot of time inside on one of the sunniest weekends in Seattle, to better yourselves, to better each other, to better the impact that you can have on kids. And I truly am humbled to congratulate you on taking the time to do that. Mostly I'm here just to say on behalf of the Storm that community building is such an important part of what makes this place special. And that's why we're here. We want to build a partnership with you guys, and we look forward to conversations. If the governor indeed is running as late as we think we might be, I hope I have time to take some questions, but would also welcome some comments if we get to that in terms of how you guys think we can partner to help you be more effective in what you do. Again, I should probably get to what they asked me to talk about, which is physical activity. I'll just simply start by reinforcing what you already know. Physical activity in children is absolutely critical to their overall well-being. We know that, right? You know that. It is reinforced by research. It's reinforced by the results that you see in the classroom every day and in the results of your children. The Storm has been a long-time advocate of physical activity in kids on a league-wide basis, but certainly here in Seattle, the WNBA has had a Be Fit program since the league's inception. The Storm's Junior Storm program has been around for the last 11 years. Our most recent endeavor is called Take Your Health by Storm. Yours truly is the chairperson of this new initiative. It actually hasn't even been launched yet. So if you ask Eric about it, he'll look extremely confused. But, my daughter turned 5 a month ago, and I decided that I need to be more physically fit. That I used to be a Division I athlete. I know I don't look like that today. But it's time for me to model the kind of behaviors and the lifestyle that I want her to have. And, from a practical standpoint, I need to be able to run around and keep up with her. And so I personally decided that we were going to, as a Storm community, start to promote health among our fans. And we have a middle-aged women is really our target audience. It's 80% of our audience, many of whom aren't that physically active. And so what can I do as the leader of the organization to engage our staff, our owners, our players, our coaches, to inspire our fans and our community, our family really, to create positive change in their own lives from a health standpoint. So the campaign kicks off in a couple weeks. I'm going to put my profile on that website, and I'm competitive enough that I know I will actually finally lose the weight I've been trying to lose for 10 years. You know, my daughter's 5, and so the excuse of just having a baby is sort of worn out. For all the men in the room, cover your ears for a second. I went to a bra fitting with my sister a couple years ago, much to my dismay, and the woman had her back to my sister and, of course, was working on me. And I said, yeah, I just had a baby, because I was going up a couple sizes. And I said, yeah, I just had a baby, and I just haven't been able to lose the weight. And my sister's in the background going, she's 4. So, anyway, if this campaign and my personal journey, which will be very humbling, but I know I can already see myself at the finish line. And so the reason I'm doing this and opening myself up to a tremendous amount of criticism, mostly from my family, I know I'm going to be successful. So if this inspires you, thank you. I would love for you guys to keep an eye on it. I'm going to actually tell Eric on my way out that if any of you particularly want information on this campaign, leave a business card, and I'm going to have him create a little stack. And once the campaign's launched, I would love to send you emails and invite you to participate. But it's going to include a lot of activities around the Northwest. We're going to celebrate the fact that the outdoors and the Pacific Northwest is really nature's gym. It doesn't take much but a pair of tennis shoes for you to make a difference. The events will all be free. They'll be for all fitness levels, and I hope I see some of you out there on the trail. Couple more things. Any PE teachers here today? 1? Oh. 2. 2 PE teachers. Well, I wanted to give special thanks to the PE teachers in the room, all 2 of you. For all you do to inspire kids to be active and providing them with the motivation, the tools, and the coaching to increase their fitness levels and to really celebrate physical activity as something that can and should be fun, so that starting at a young age you have a positive association with physical activity and fun and health benefits. And for me personally, on another note, my middle school PE teacher is to this day one of the greatest inspirations in my life and has so much to do with why I'm here today. Lastly, on the physical activity thing, what I would say is just to remind you all, again, what I know you already know, and that is you are role models. And the kids that you touch every day, whether your own or in the classroom, and I know, having talked to my sister for many years, that each student you have every year is your kid. You model how they treat each other, how they resolve conflict, and you also model what they eat and how much they exercise. And you taking charge of your own physical activity and your own overall health and wellness will be the strongest, most impactful thing you can do to impact kids. The last thing I'll say in terms of just team sports, I'd be remiss in talking about physical activity if I didn't talk about team sports. For me, team sports, along with my 7th grade PE teacher, is so much of the reason why I am here today and have had the success I've had as a partner, as a mother, as a sister, as a friend, as a leader, as a CEO, as an advocate for women's sports. Sports for me was a laboratory in life. And I learned at a very early age what it meant to work hard, what it meant to be a good teammate, what it meant to win, what it meant to lose, what it meant to get up after defeat, what it meant to go forward, what it meant to prepare to be successful. And team sports, I'm such an advocate for team sports, especially for girls. How many of you have daughters, nieces, granddaughters, probably everybody here? The studies are compelling. Sports is good for all kids, but the impact that sports particularly has on young girls given the body image issues, the bullying, the self-esteem that sports can bring, and the notion of belonging to something greater than yourself, and sharing success with others, finding comfort in like-minded friends is really powerful and hard to get anywhere else. With that, I would just say, continue to do all you can and continue to model the kinds of behaviors that you want to see in the kids that you impact. And as I said earlier, I know your reach and your influence is hard to quantify because it's significant. And I really applaud the dedication, commitment that you've given to the students you've touched. As I said earlier, my sister is a teacher. She's been a teacher for a long time. And her passion, her dedication, her commitment to those students is inspirational. And I'm sure her story is the same as many of you here. So as a sister who has watched my younger sister dedicate her life to young people and helping them and giving them the tools to someday be the CEO of a women's professional basketball team, I truly, truly applaud you and am humbled being in your presence today. Thank you. I'm not sure if I'm still, am I stalling for the governor? All right,
7
anybody have a
minutes.
question?
If you guys want to go to either the microphone, there's one microphone. Is there a microphone over there? One.
I do have a stand-up comic routine too, if anybody would like to.
We'll give you some microphones to ask her question.
Definitely
SP,
can't
you
say.
want to come up?
Anybody? I can hear you, and I can repeat it. Go ahead. Want to tell me? You got a microphone? All right.
So I watched you play basketball at Woodway High School.
Oh, my goodness.
My dad was Roger Myers, who was the vice principal there.
I remember you, Dad, really well. I
yeah.
remember you, actually.
Well, I was much smaller.
I do. I remember you.
Yeah, anyway. I'm sure.
I was too.
But we all were, right? So along the lines of what you said, some of my earliest memories are being in that gym and watching my dad coach the boys and watching his boys play, but also watching you guys play. And I went on and played basketball and soccer in high school and in college, and so I feel like kind of those memories kind of inspired me to enjoy a career in athletics that was not at the Division I level, but gave me probably some of the greatest joy of my life outside my family that I have now. So, thank you. And,
Is your name Amy?
Yeah, it is actually. And, yeah. I was a lot smaller then too. And he says hi, because I called him this morning when I saw you on the schedule.
Please tell him I said hello.
I will.
Please.
I
What a
will.
great story. Thanks, Amy.
Yep.
Great to see you. Congrats on your success. Anybody else? Anybody else watch me play high school basketball? I was really cocky. Imagine that. I'm sure that surprises all
Hi,
of you.
Karen.
Hi.
I'm Heather Miller, Trisha's friend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, Heather. I'm going to announce my candidacy for mayor today.
Yeah, do it. You're awesome.
Maybe governor in 4 years. I'll talk to Governor Inslee when he gets here. Nice to see you, Heather. I remember the cul-de-sac all those years, walking home from Sherwood. Anybody else? Anybody else want to? No, does anybody have a question? Yes.
So I'm sorry, I didn't know you, but
You don't know me.
You sound like you were great. But I just was wondering if you could give us a little flavor, maybe a little sneak preview of the types of programs that you will be introducing, maybe.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about our signature program. So we have, we have had a reading program. We actually suspended it a couple years ago. We're talking about bringing it back. We probably won't bring it back this summer, but we're in conversations to bring it back next fall, a Read to Achieve program. I'm trying to think particularly in terms of school. A lot of the programs we do with schools right now are around physical fitness. So we go out and we do clinics with our players. It's challenging a little bit to obviously, given that we play in the summer, the players are here in the summer and school's out. And so we've been working for the last couple of years on how to develop a program with former players and former University of Washington players who are still in town, along with our dance troupe, who's always really entertaining, made up of kids, and our mascot. So trying to come up with programming without players that we can do to go around schools and be a lot more visible and just be there to run clinics and promote physical fitness. And that's part of the WNBA's Be Fit program that I mentioned earlier. We do a lot with nonprofit organizations. We have probably over 100 nonprofit partners. And that activation is really customized around what the partners' needs are. But, you know, we're at a lot of events. We help with fundraising. We help put on events. You know, we have a competency in event production. And so a lot of times what we do for our nonprofits is provide some of our infrastructure and resources to help them save dollars and to put on a great show. You know, we speak a lot at events just as a way for the storm to get out there, but also as a way for us to give value back to the community. The owners and I probably do over 200 speaking engagements a year, but really involved in the community. Do a lot with the Children's Hospital, do a lot with, as I said, a lot of the nonprofit organizations that you would think of. Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers Big Sisters are both really big partners. The YWCA is a big nonprofit partner. There aren't very many things that we do on our own. We really try to go to partner organizations, find out what their goals are, and lend our resources and expertise to help whatever they're already doing, help them do it better. Yeah, you're welcome.
You kind of answered it, whatnot, but do you have any programs for special needs and getting them physical therapy with
We
special
don't,
needs?
other than I am on the board of Special Olympics.
Yep.
So we work closely. Beth Wojcik, the CEO there, is a long time friend of mine, and so we work with them, but more around fundraising efforts and promotional efforts. We haven't done any programming around special needs and physical activity. If we did, they would be the right partner. So if Beth developed something in the public schools and wanted us to be there to add value to what they're doing, we'd be there in a heartbeat. Anybody else? Yeah, way in the back. I read the memo. They told you to wear tennis shoes. You guys could have started your fitness campaign today. You probably put a lot of miles on those feet, huh? Should have handed out pedometers.
So
Yeah.
we were wondering, the programs that you're talking about, is this going to be statewide? Because we're from the other side of the mountains, and we'd like some of that love, too.
You know what always comes up when we talk about doing things far out of our reach, as you guys can imagine, you know, the Storm's going into their 14th season, which sometimes is really hard for me to believe. You know, we have a lot of work to do right in our backyard still in terms of building awareness and filling that building. We try to do what we can on the east side. I'll tell you, for the time that we've put in, it sometimes organizationally feels like we don't get a lot of value back. And that's not to say that's the only criteria. Sometimes just doing it and supporting great organizations on the east side of the state is just a good thing to do, and we should do it. I would tell you we're open. I think if you want to engage in a conversation with us, what we always try to do is to figure out, if we're going to come over there, how do we come over there for a few days and make it really big and have multiple events? Traveling that far for a one-off event for 100 people probably would not be the right cost benefit for us, but if you and or other people in your community could help us organize an assembly tour, and we could hit multiple schools and come over for a few days, and we could get in front of some businesses, and I could do some speaking in front of the chambers, we'd be all for it. I think reality, we haven't really found the right champions to help make that happen, but if we found the right champions and could put a plan together, again, we'll be there. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Should we wrap it up?
Thank you, Karen.
My